Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of The Hold Up. I'm Josh.
I'm Jacob.
Hi Jacob,
Hi, Josh.
this guy. So today we are going to be covering the 1979 Tarkovsky film Stalker. So welcome back to The Hold Up. I'm still Josh.
I don't know who I am anymore.
Nobody knows who they are, especially in Soviet Russia.
Oh, that's for sure.
See that segue right back
I
into
see that.
Stalker?
That is a big theme of this movie.
Stalker is a very unique film, like I guess all of Tarkovsky's movies.
I'd say it's a little bit more mainstream than The Mirror.
The Mirror, I hear, full disclosure, this was the first Tarkovsky film I've ever watched.
Really? I thought you saw Nostalgia.
No. His movies have always been on my list as a cinephile, but never have gone to film school. People have always said, like, Tarkovsky, watch The Mirror, watch Stalker, especially after Annihilation.
Yeah.
Annihilation was my favorite movie of 2018.
Really?
The first time I watched it, I hated it so much,
Yeah, I can
and
see that.
I couldn't stop thinking about it, and the more I kept thinking about it, and I watched it like 5 more times, oh my God, did I love it. And our buddy Mark is like, oh, you liked Annihilation? Go watch Stalker. They borrow heavily from it. I'm like, okay.
Do they?
The concept is
Yeah.
like right there, but I think that goes along with any kind of adaptation.
But the concept of Stalker also is an adaptation of the book. A picnic, I can't remember. It's a picnic in something. Which, I mean, and that book has been heavily influenced a lot of media. Like, you have the video game Stalker, both Call of Chernobyl and Pripyat. And they both follow heavily from the book.
They made a video game.
And it's not based off the movie, it's based off the book. You're in the zone and you're a stalker and you're looking for relics and you're trying to uncover like grand mysteries. But there are the nuts you throw and like, yeah.
Okay.
It's a really good game.
Let's do a little summary of the movie. We've got our protagonist named. I just called him Stalker.
Yeah,
He was
I
the
don't
stalker.
think did he have a name?
No, that was actually
I think
really,
they just called
really
him the Stalker
influential.
because I think they called. I mean, there was also the writer.
The writer and the professor.
And the professor. Yeah.
In the book Annihilation, they don't have names. They're the biologist, the surveyor, the psychologist.
Yeah.
It's just that. Oh, look at all that influence. I could watching this movie, I could understand why it was so influential to so many people. So let's just call him. He's the Stalker.
Yep.
The Stalker is an individual that will bring people into the zone.
Yes.
An area of mystery.
It's kind of the way it's explained. It almost seems like to me it is supposed to be Chernobyl, like where the nuclear meltdown happened in that area you're not supposed to go to.
They say that it could have been a meteorite.
Or like an alien spaceship. Or act of
they
God.
don't know what it is.
No.
It's just a place that exists that could grant your deepest desires,
Just like a strip club.
or destroy you,
Yeah.
just like a strip club.
Exactly. It's an act of God.
Yep. Oh, not my God.
Oh no, it's my God.
Memories. Going back down that rabbit hole. So the Stalker is hired to escort the professor and the writer into the zone through barbed wire and armed guards.
Yeah, and it's him coming out of retirement because at the beginning of the movie, his wife is very angry that he's
went to
going
prison
back there.
doing it before.
Yeah.
They've got a kid, little crippled kid.
Yep.
She's also a little mutant, I guess.
Yep.
That was just kind of talk about her ailments, and they have her crutches.
Yeah.
There is so much about this movie that is just packed into the visuals, but we're going to get into the visuals because that's a huge thing. Once they get into the zone, things get weirder.
Kind of. Tarkovsky loves his shots, like where you just the camera is right in the face, and then it just slowly zooms in for about 10 minutes.
Yep.
He
10,
loves
10-minute long takes.
And the zone is full of it.
Uh-huh.
There's one...
Everything was. The opening shot was like 10 minutes. It's all
of the train.
so
train
beautiful.
with... And it wasn't... Was it... What is the song that plays? It's not the Russian national anthem at the time. What song is it?
I think it was like that Soviet.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the national anthem. But it's some Soviet song as the train's
They
passing.
do that in areas. Like when I was in Saudi Arabia, like at 5 p.m., they would always play that music.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's just part of their culture because that's how they inspire
the citizens.
Obedience.
Yeah. Same thing. So they take him into the zone, and it's not really kind of clear. The professor wants to be known. He wants a Nobel Peace Prize. That's why he's going there.
Their motivations are, that's part of all of it.
Yeah.
The closer they get to the room
Yeah.
in the zone, they understand who they are.
Yeah.
And once they can understand who they are,
they
then
don't
they
want
could,
the room anymore.
Right. No, I don't think anybody really wants the room.
No.
The room is okay. That's the movie.
Yeah. No,
Like,
that's
just
basically
they
the movie.
wander around in the zone, and it's constantly kind of like shifting around, and they fall asleep at the water. So much water.
There's
like they had more water than the Titanic. Not kidding.
It's insensitive.
To icebergs?
No, to the people in Titanic.
I didn't know them. I'm not. Don't cut that part. All right. I don't care about Titanic. I don't know anybody from Titanic. People die. That's what we do.
Nobody told you? We die?
Oh shit.
Oh.
I felt like this was a conversation for you and a puppy. One day you're gonna die. Wait. I want you. This is definitely a 2-shot. Actually, zoom in on his eyes. The dead soulless eyes. I want you to see any kind of emotion here. You're going to die.
Good.
I don't know when. I don't know why. I don't know how. Actually, I do know why. It's because you're a human and you're gonna die.
Are you sure?
Yes?
Is there no way to stop that?
You can find the room.
Let's go.
Oh, back into Tarkovsky. Look at that segue.
You gotta do it.
Shit.
It's tough.
So Tarkovsky is supposedly not about metaphors or symbolism. He's like, I don't like to have symbolism or meaning in my images, which is just clear hogwash. Because
I was gonna say
there's
that's
nothing
garbage.
but this. Like, oh, what does that water symbolize? It definitely symbolizes something. What is that picture of Christ underwater with rubbish? That's pretty fucking clear.
Unless he's telling the truth.
Isn't it all truth?
Unless he really doesn't mean to put any metaphors in his imagery, but because his movies are so long and so strange in that aspect, you get a lot of film students who watch the movie and then pretend to find imagery in it, and all of a sudden he gets held up to this giant high regard.
Mm-hmm. Very possibly.
That he didn't deserve.
Yeah.
Because I liked this movie. Like, I actually enjoyed watching it. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. Mm-hmm. It's my second time watching it. I watched it a couple years ago. I remember really enjoying it. Rewatching it this time, it felt painful.
Because you know more about
really
film.
Painful.
You know more about structure
Yeah.
and how to tell a story and what characters are for
I don't-
and how to tell a story. What is an effing story?
I don't really care. You know me in the movies I kind of like. I don't really care all that much about the structure of it.
True.
But this movie had so much nothing. Like a lot of
Could that have been the meaning?
nothing. And it could have
Film
been
student.
the meaning. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
because there was no meaning. There is
And the
no
nothingness could replicate the feeling of them inside the Soviet Union. And then blowing up the Soviet Union could be them telling us it's time for the collapse of the Union. Like, there's so much you could possibly theorize of the movie.
Did you go into any Russian history, the Cold War, Stalinism?
After watching this? No.
Yeah.
But a little bit before watching.
Gorbachev?
His
Gorbachev?
Pizza Hut commercials? Right after he tore down the wall? He knew what he was doing.
Khrushchev? Yeah, 1979, that was still, that was right after the big de-Stalinization,
Yeah.
or whatever they called it, but they still had mass famine
Yeah.
and just poverty, and everybody was miserable.
And alcohol abuse, which is very well shown in this movie.
Yeah.
There is alcohol abuse shown everywhere, from empty bottles in the rivers, empty bottles everywhere. By the man with his he's drunk right before they go to the zone, and then he pours out his drink, and he's very upset about that.
Yeah.
Every time they leave the zone or go to the zone, they're in the bar beforehand.
It begins at a bar.
It begins at a bar. It's very obvious that a lot of the movie to me feels like just the strife of the Russian people.
I got a more spiritual take on it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was a lot of that imagery in there. What was some of the big ones starting out?
Well, like you said already, the Jesus
the phone poles. Like when they're going, they look just like crucifixes that are like knocked over.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like they're carrying. Like
when they get to the zone and he has to walk around in silence alone, and then laying in the river and the imagery of the dog and
watching parts of it, I'm like, the Stalker feels like a priest who has lost his faith.
Yeah.
But he still wants to believe.
Yeah.
Like his whole existence.
But he won't go in himself.
Right.
But he won't experience
he doesn't
himself.
Quite. It's not his place.
Yeah.
His place is to guide people to their faith.
And it even makes them more miserable.
Yeah.
The end result is always the person is worse off than they were before they entered the zone.
Well, yes and no. Their illusions are stripped away.
Yeah.
And so they're not able to hold on to that grand illusion.
Yeah.
Like they understand, like the writer understands he's never going to be a genius.
Yeah.
His writing is meaningless.
Yep.
People are just going to continue to devour him. And even if he stops writing,
his past work still lives on.
And the people will find somebody else to devour.
Yeah.
Like his life is absolutely insignificant. He wanted to be remembered in history through his writing.
And the
not
professor,
gonna happen. It doesn't fucking matter.
The professor threw everything away.
He brought a nuke.
He brought a nuke to the place to blow it up, and he threw his entire career away because he made the call.
How did it have electricity? How did it? It's the zone.
It's the zone.
We don't really need a setup or.
Exactly, it's the zone.
So I had a lot of problems with this movie. I did. Like usually, like going into the zone, and they kept, like for somebody who's so visual.
Yeah.
Show, don't tell.
Yeah.
All they were doing was telling.
Yeah.
Even when they go into the zone, it's really dangerous, and they're telling
us
that it's super
show
dangerous.
us it's dangerous.
There's nothing that happens that is dangerous.
No.
Just him saying like, oh, it's really dangerous.
Don't go that. If you go back, you won't be able to find us, and you'll never leave. And then they run into them after they leave the cave.
But this also felt like religion.
Yeah.
Like, what they do. Don't fucking do that, or I'm gonna fucking spank you in the afterlife. Like, that's gonna damn you to hell. Don't do that. It's like a weird form of control that priests or pastors, whatever, I don't like. I'm contemptuous of organized religion, if you might have noticed.
Well, I can tell.
So, yeah,
I would assume.
I might have read that because of my own personal biases.
But the same way that religion does it is the same way that authoritarian governments do it. They do it in the same aspect. They promise you the light. They promise you this is the way to live. And they promise you all of this. Life will be better. We will all work together. But if you act out of line, you're damned to hell. You're gone. Like, your life is over. It's in the same kind of aspect. Whereas religion does it more in the afterlife and what will happen after you die. The authoritarian governments can't really do that. They can only control you while you're alive.
Can they?
I mean,
that's the goal.
That's the goal. That's the
That's
whole
the dream.
goal of the government.
That's the dream, man.
I wish. God, I wish.
Still feel like creating my own religion or government.
Yeah.
Just because I don't believe in it.
Just
Why
get a
not?
cult following first.
Oh, I've done that. It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, man.
I also kind of. Did they go back to the zone in the end? Is that where him and his wife and son went? I thought they went back to the zone.
Oh.
Didn't they go back?
I don't remember.
Because it doesn't.
I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning because I've had like a touch of insomnia. And so I was
Me
like
too.
watching it on my laptop with my headphones.
You watched it
drinking
today?
coffee this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started watching it yesterday, and then I started watching it
Okay.
today, but I was kind of like towards the end in a fugue state because this is 2 hours and 47 minutes
It's
long.
not a movie you can watch when you're tired.
2 hours and 47 minutes. When they're just laying at the river, kind of talking,
Yeah.
there were parts of this movie that just pissed me off so much. I'm like, nothing's happening.
No.
Nothing
There's
is
a
happening.
good
I was tempted.
hour and
I
20
kept
minutes where
looking at the
nothing
arrow
happens.
button where I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit. I'm just gonna keep hitting that button until something actually happens. Spoiler alert, nothing happens.
Nothing does happen.
But
Now
the
the
visuals. We need to talk about the
Of
visuals
course we
because they
do.
are so incredibly gorgeous,
They
and
are.
beautiful, and haunting. Okay.
Okay.
It's poetry, visual poetry. That's what Tarkovsky is
When
known
they're
for.
not in the zone, it's a weird, like beige, black and white.
I think it's like Incipia.
Yeah. But the moment they get to the zone, it hits you with the beautiful colors that the camera picked up. And it is just marvelous.
The world is dark and miserable, but
The
religion
zone is beautiful. But when they're asleep and dreaming in the zone, they think back to that sepia tone.
Yes.
It goes
because
back
that's
to
their
there.
world.
Yeah, that's where that's reality. That visual aspect I love. The beginning scene too, it's just focusing on cotton balls and a needle as the train passes by.
After the door.
After the door.
Ugh, just the way that he holds a shot.
Oh.
Like, usually people who try to imitate that, I think, hold a shot either too short
Yeah.
or too long. The composition of the shot, it felt like what Tim Burton tries to do.
I still think that in this movie he held some of the shots too long.
Yeah,
And I think
the back
they were
of the head,
very
they keep
frequent.
showing the back of the head. Stop showing the back of the fucking head. It annoys me.
Did you confuse the characters at all while watching this movie? Did you ever get them switched up?
No.
I did. I did a lot.
I kind of like latched on to guess who?
Oh.
Guess who I gravitated towards?
The writer.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of course you gravitated towards the writer.
Well, also a lot of the crap that he was spouting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those have been my existential fears for the past several years.
I think they're very common existential fears.
They
Especially the older you get.
Yeah. Is that an age joke? Dick
It's
hole?
not an age joke.
That's okay. I wasn't going to punch you in the dick. I was about to punch you in the dick.
Oh, you can go ahead.
You should do like a little ASMR bit.
She goes, no. Producer's saying no.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Also,
Oh, my eyes.
just the writer's demeanor,
Yeah.
everything about him at the beginning, I was like, yeah, that's me in 10 years.
He was instantly drinking the moment before they were going.
Uh-huh.
And then drinking again at the bar.
Picked up some woman at a bar. And
I
like,
know,
hey,
was gonna
she's
she's coming to the zone with us. We're gonna
us.
go to the zone. No, that was hilarious.
me.
And then that woman's gone.
Yep.
Never hear from her again.
Stalkers, just dour disposition at all times. Again, another problem, like structure, characters, like everything is almost like a to-do list of what not to do, but is able to hold our interest for the most part with these incredible, long, haunting takes. And the production value, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Either it's in the tunnels or it's in that final room before the room.
Oh, with the water and the staircase.
Yeah.
And then don't forget the final room. And then it shows it raining from the sky as it shows the room.
It actually felt to me like it was like God taking a piss.
Yeah.
There was like a last little spurt of water, just a little bit, just like that. Like it's just going, and then stops, and then just that last little bit. Here's a little shake.
It was supposed to
Can't see
be
it, but I'm visualizing
Tarkovsky's
the little shake.
first science fiction movie.
Was it, or did Solaris come first?
I don't know.
Because I know he
pretty
he
sure it
said
was
that
Stalker.
sci-fi is vulgar.
Yeah.
But it was also before sci-fi became a legit medium.
I'm pretty sure Stalker was his first science fiction take.
I could get that
His
because
first
it's
try
a
at it.
pretty crap.
And it's like I said, it's a very, very loose adaptation of the book. A Picnic in Somewhere. I can't remember the name of the book. I think it starts with a T. I really wish I had the name of the book. It's A Picnic in...
I swear to God, if it's an adaptation of like a Philip K. Dick novel,
No, it's
I'm
not.
gonna lose my shit.
It's not.
Okay.
But it's a very loose adaptation of it.
I love loose adaptations.
Well, of course, because you can take the good parts you like and then add your own creative style.
I hate
when
when
you just
people
take
are like, I'm just going to do this and put the scenes that are in the book on.
No, I hate that.
It
Well, that's
doesn't
when you end up
transcribe
with
mediums.
like Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief.
Hey,
or Narnia.
That Victoria Dardio, man. I like them witches' eyes.
So good. You know they made a
Hunger
sequel to Percy Jackson?
Yes.
In the movie. Like,
yes.
they made the second book into a movie. I found that out about 6 months ago.
I want to say
I had no idea.
saw it, but
It
I
couldn't
don't
have
know
been
what
good.
happened. Oh yeah, there was something with Poseidon.
Of course,
I
that's
think,
every...
I think that they took the Odyssey again. I don't know. It's forgettable.
It's real. The first movie was real forgettable. Just like this movie,
except for
apparently.
Victoria Daddario's eyes. Them witches' eyes, man. Them witches' eyes. I digress. Haley's getting angry.
It's hard to talk about this movie. It's really tough because there's not a lot of movie to talk about. There really isn't.
Let's talk about tension in this movie.
The whole movie is filled to the brim with tension.
I had none.
Really?
Nope.
Nothing whatsoever.
Nope.
Interesting.
I don't know. I had a weird disconnect happen at the beginning when his wife is on the floor just like crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so incredibly exaggerated.
Oh yeah, it was
And
very uncanny.
I felt removed from it, and once I got removed, it was hard to slip back in.
Yeah.
Phrasing.
You're so proud of yourself for that, Joe.
Yeah, man. It was
So
mostly
proud.
because unwarranted, unneeded. Like much of the movie.
Yeah. Really, you had no tension though. I can't believe that. Like, not even at the beginning when he's walking towards the house for the first time as he's ignoring the stalker's rules. You felt no tension there whatsoever?
Nope.
Wow.
No. Like, for a movie that was, like, excelling in subjectivity,
Yeah.
with those long, excruciating at times, long takes,
Yeah.
you're grounded in their emotion, how they're feeling,
Yeah.
what's going on inside their minds. But despite all that subjectivity, I felt nothing for them.
No, I didn't expect. That's one thing this movie has wrong with it. A big part is I never expected any of them to die or go missing. There was no fear of that at all throughout the movie.
Well, it's because they didn't actually establish the threat.
No.
Like, show, like, one of them could disappear or die. But you know what? None
They
of
never
them
did.
ever
And when
do.
the professor almost disappeared because he went back for his rucksack, the very next scene,
They're always in water.
he's in the rucksack. He's eating something, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sitting on the rock. And then they decide to take a nap on the rock after they find him.
Yeah.
There's also the weird side story of the stalker's mentor, Porcupine,
Yeah.
who used to do it, but then he went into the room himself and went insane and could never visit it again.
No, the porcupine, I don't know who they're alluding to.
Yeah.
It could be the Pope. It could be Stalin.
Yeah.
They wanted originally something, but inevitably what they wanted was riches. They wanted power.
Yeah. It was either fame, riches, or power. To be a genius, to make money by writing your books, or for the Nobel Peace Prize like the professor wanted.
I'm going to say the porcupine was a stand-in for Stalin with the rise of communism, because he went in for his brother.
Yeah.
We're all collected. Jumping back in, however, what is one thing that you learned from this movie?
Russia is a terrible place to live. It's just awful. I'm never going to Russia.
I don't ever, yeah. That's one place I've never wanted to go.
No desire.
But I don't know how
None.
much of that is, U.S. propaganda. It's the Russians. Wolverines.
It's got to be the Russians.
All that jazz.
don't
No,
trust
what is,
Russians.
from a filmmaking standpoint, what is a filmmaking lesson that you took from this?
A filmmaking lesson that I took from this is that if you are going to not follow structure and you are going to be very metaphorical, then you still need to have a way to do that without a giant separation from your audience. You need to still have something happening there. And I think that's where, like, for me, David Lynch fills that gap. Because even though his movies still don't have a lot of structure, he fills it with so much going on that'll keep you entertained.
I think Lynch was very influenced
He's
by
very,
Tarkovsky.
very heavily influenced by Tarkovsky. Even though they made movies at the same time.
Did they?
They did.
For realsies?
Yes. Anyway, regardless of that, also that I don't know, man. I don't know what I learned from this movie.
Yeah, just speak from the heart. Like, I learned that, like, production value can cover up a lot of issues. First of all, that should be... Dude, this movie was made 3 times.
Yeah, no, this is the movie that they say killed Tarkovsky.
Yes.
They say this is what drove him.
They also got poisoned.
Yeah.
At one of the rivers.
Yeah.
Like, everybody started breaking out
Yeah.
and rashes. And yeah, so many of them died from cancer.
Yep.
That's sad.
It is.
Aw. That is.
He had to reshoot this movie so much. It was nothing but a colossal disaster filming it, and I think it really does show in the final product.
Yeah, the first
Really
time
does.
all the film, that stock, was corrupted.
Yep.
It just got ruined. It all got tinted green.
Mm-hmm.
Reshoot it.
Everything.
And then he hated the DP on the second one, and he's like, none of this is usable. I can't do anything. And so they did it again with a quarter of the budget.
And the fact that that was a quarter of the budget is... I want to see the original uncorrupted version.
Oh, God, everybody does.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Well,
It's
actually,
like how
think
much I would
everybody
pay...
wants to see the corrupted one with modern techniques. They could probably
Bring it back.
salvage a lot of it.
It's like Event Horizon. I would pay so much money to see all of the cut content from that movie.
You know, they're turning that into a series.
Yeah,
They're rebooting
I don't
Event
I
Horizon
don't care.
on like Amazon.
Let's reboot Stalker.
They did. It's Annihilation. Did you watch Annihilation?
Yes.
You didn't like it?
It was okay.
Eh.
It was okay.
Oh man, did I love it. Watching it, I couldn't remove myself. I'm like, okay, Annihilation, clearly this was the heaviest influence. The Zone,
Yep.
the Shimmer, the Biologist, the what have you. But also the discombobulation, just confusion.
Yeah.
You don't know
The
where you're
constant
going.
confusion.
Yeah.
And it did it better in Annihilation than it did in Stalker.
Oh god, yeah.
Because the way they did it in Stalker, I guess that's where the budget
didn't
shows.
buy the
A
descent.
lot of the areas at the beginning are the same area. It's the same location. They used a lot of the same location and same set for about 2 hours of the movie, or an hour and a half of the movie as they enter the zone. It's only when they enter the tunnel and they go to that room and then the room that the set design really shows.
I was
really shines.
watching that tunnel, like trying to figure out what they did for the design.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, what was that shredded? At first, I thought they had just melted a ton of wax and poured it down these grates and let it dry. And I'm like, no, it looks like cotton. Like they took long strips of just like unrefined cotton and soaked it.
Yeah.
Either way, just amazing.
Gorgeous.
The lighting, it was noirish. It was its own delicatessen, I could see.
It was
borrowed heavily from this.
Very reminiscent of the ending scene of George Lucas's THX.
I never watched it.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
I'm not a big Lucas fan, so I'm like, I don't want.
That's fair enough.
American Graffiti, don't give a fuck.
You gotta see THX though. It's nothing like any of his other work. You gotta give it a shot.
Okay, so I'm getting the signal to wrap this up. Anyway, something that I learned from it: set design and just knowing the composition beforehand.
Yeah.
Clearly, they had everything rehearsed to the T before they even brought a camera on board.
And everything can go wrong in a shoot.
Yeah.
And a film shoot can kill you.
Yes.
It can. And it will.
Invest so much of yourself that you will die. But I guess that concludes this episode.
Sweet.
Bye.
You want to get a beer?
Oh, my wife is having me do keto right now.
Oh, that's no good.
Solidarity. I know, because food makes Josh happy.
I'm doing the
Food? Bye.
I'm actually doing.
Roll credits.
Get out of here.
Get out of here,
Get
you
the
crazy
fuck out of
kids.
here. We already got your money from the ad revenue.
I hope.
I hope. I'm so poor.
Aren't we all? Emotionally.
Yeah.
You never actually said if it held up.
Let's get that. So,
Kind of. I can't say no, and I can't say yes.
do you think this movie actually held up?
Some of it did, some of it didn't.
No,
The
I want a
visual-
definitive answer on Tarkovsky. Us kids, we just know so much.
Yes,
Clearly, Tarkovsky holds up or doesn't.
it holds up. Regardless
It
of
does.
the problems with the story or with the filming or with any of that, the movie very well still holds up, and I still recommend that you watch it. Even if you don't end up enjoying it, it's still a visually stunning masterpiece for what they had to do.
This movie is so experimental, that alone gives it so many points. Like, it can lack on conventional rules, which I like, because I like structure despite worshiping chaos, but it's that aspect of my desire to just do something completely different. That was Stalker.
Yes, it was.
Like, let's just focus on the characters. Don't focus on anything else.
The characters
Stalker
were
holds up.
very realistic too.
Yes. Like, by the end, it was so.
They were so human, and that's so
There
hard
it is.
to do.
I think that was what they were trying to do. They were trying to do an examination of the human condition in Soviet Russia when shit sucks.
And so it holds up.
Holds up. 2019. Holds up today.
We did it.
We'll see next year.
Next year.
Bye.